Hello, everybody, and I have a special guest here. This is Mr. Furley. Um, we adopted him about 2 months ago. He is 7 months old, and he is deaf and partly blind. So we are trying to teach him sign language in addition to being a puppy. But look at the fucking face. Look at the face. Look at him, so damn cute. Oh my god, you're so cute. So yes, he's deaf. So you may hear me saying, this is Mr. Furley. So if he ever comes on, they But anyway, we have a show tonight. My dear comrade Ron Plaxone is back. Ron, thanks so much for joining.
What's up? Good to see you.
I think this is the first time you met Mr. Furley, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm excited you have a new furry friend added to the family. It's awesome. That's really cool.
Blind girl, deaf dog.
No, that's wonderful. Yeah. It's always it's always a tough situation when we have to say goodbye and stuff. Yeah. And so I'm glad you guys are we're ready for another fur baby.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now we're gonna put you outside. Okay. All right, here we go. There we go. Yeah, he literally just found out he could bark. And he has no idea what it sounds like. So but yeah, thanks so much for joining, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today has been chaos because I was just kicked out of a Kamala rally with some of my friends. And so last night, I'm in Harrisburg, like many of you know. And last night they announced at the very last minute, hey, guess what? She's coming to Harrisburg. So it was like scrambling with my comrades in my local Harrisburg Palestinian community. We're scrambling. We're like, we got to do something. What are we doing? What are we doing? And we decided we don't just want to go outside. We want to go inside. So it was like a super brainstorm thing, because that's what happens when you're an activist and an organizer. You need to like be ready to do whatever. So, we were looking at all the rules and regulations and stuff. No signs, no backpacks, no flags, no, everything like this. And
so funny. No signs, no backpacks.
What's that?
No, it's just so crazy that it's like, I mean, I guess there's a reason for all those rules, but it's like, yeah, it's no signs, no backpacks, no flags, no.
Right.
I don't know. It's just.
So I was like, yeah. Okay, well, I'm bringing mine anyway. So I just folded up my keffiyeh and my big Palestine flag behind me, and I just stuck them in my underwear, but like in where the band is, not like in my underwear, but where the band is.
Hey, whatever you got to do. I'm not judging. I mean,
I'm like, I'm going in with that shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm going in with it. First, they gave me an issue trying to get in. I don't know what the fuck the problem was. And it was, I went in the ADA line, and my friend was with me, and it was I was more trepidatious it was going to be even more shit libbery than it was. I gotta say, the way it was set up was like a constant dance party. So my friend and I were
Oh,
just,
okay.
I mean, I love to dance. I love to sing. So, I mean, we got there at 11:15 this morning. We didn't get out till after 5. That's how
Jesus.
long this fucking rally was.
And
So,
what was Harris there the whole time, or like what was her deal?
no, she came in on her private plane
Of course, yeah.
after.
I
They
mean,
had,
hey, you know what? At least, I mean, God, at least she's showing up in the middle of the state. That is something Hillary never freaking did.
well, I made that comment too.
And
And
it's
one
like she's
woman,
actually showing up. Sad that that's where the bar's at, but
yeah, exactly. One woman, it was funny. She gave me a look, and I was like, because one of my concerns was like, I got to really watch what I say. I'm supposed to be a supporter of her. But I straight up said, I'm not going to be a supporter of her. At most, I'm going to be undecided. I'm not doing that shit.
mhm.
So
Yeah, I feel ya.
I felt so dirty and gross. And so turned to my girl next to me and I'm like, hey, do you know what? Yeah, well, I've just read an article that said that this is Kamala's first time in Harrisburg because remember, the last time she ran, she dropped before the primary started. And this woman,
Right.
but like, it's true. It's true. Why are you mad at me? It's fucking true. So, yeah.
Isn't it funny that the people who probably get mad at that also probably didn't vote for her in the primary?
You got it.
Like, it's like, what are you mad at? You didn't vote for her. Like, that's why she wasn't there. Nobody voted for her in the primary. So,
Exactly. Like I was in Iowa and I saw literally 0 Kamala signs the entire 5.5 weeks I was there. Like,
you know what I find even weirder than that though? And I mean, this is sort of like going backwards a little bit, but I was so confused by the people like the Democratic establishment folks who were mad when Joe Biden was out. Like they felt betrayed. I'm like, the guy, I mean, just putting aside politics, the guy was clearly unwell.
yes.
Like he's clearly unwell. Why would you want him to keep going? And they felt like there was some betrayal. I'm like, did you see him on the debate stage? The guy is unwell. And like he's being replaced by somebody who politically is exactly the same.
Yep.
You're getting just a younger, non-dementia version of him. And what are you mad about? Like, what they were like, no, they all stabbed him in the back. He's the most coddled politician maybe in the history of Washington, D.C.
Yep.
Who was able to skate by for 50 freaking years, been on the wrong side of history most of the time. And you're making him out to be some kind of victim. Are you fucking nuts? Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's
all right,
truly
I digress.
outrageous. It's crazy because they were all the ones who kept saying he needs to step down. He's going to lose. Like he is literally going to lose.
Which they weren't wrong. I mean,
No.
it's
No.
it's not like they were wrong. I mean, anyway. So what'd you do to get kicked out?
Matt, I think I gave you a little video. So there's other videos, but this like literally just happened. So I haven't had been able to like go through and like look at any of them or whatever. So this is my phone as I was being like tapped by a security guy to leave.
What'd you do to get tapped? Were
I
you
pulled out a
something?
keffiyeh and a Palestine flag and started chanting.
Oh, okay.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! You guys have dead babies on your hands! Stop taking out little babies and burning them alive with our money and our bombs! And genocide is going That's the powder. Stop it.
Shout out to that very brave person escorting out a blind woman holding a sign.
Right?
Epitome of bravery, that guy. He
That's
deserves
why
a
I got
medal.
him on camera. I was like, really? Really?
Okay.
Oh, is she in the car?
She's walking really far ahead with another staff member.
Oh, yeah. Can you ask her?
Hey, Greg? Greg? Greg?
Well, at least he wasn't being a total asshole to you, I guess.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
Walking that way, if that's all right. I can walk with you.
I just kept going. I was like, whatever. The whole
What's
way,
what's that shitty horn thing going on inside?
The what?
There's like some horn playing going on inside.
Oh no,
That's
I
not
think
part of the
that's my-
protest, is it?
Yeah, I think that's my friends.
Oh, okay. Oh, then
Yeah,
it's cool.
I think he brought a horn.
Oh, good. Okay.
'Cause it was
I thought it was
two
a
of us.
pro horn.
It was like two of us, two more of us.
It's
two
a
more of
peace
us.
horn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
Then.
yeah, you can end this, Matt. I just keep going, and I'm like, free Palestine, like the whole way out. You know, but the craziest shit.
So you
is,
weren't
though-
chanting.
What's that?
You weren't chanting "I'm with her" or whatever. Like that's not Kamala's
You know,
thing. Never mind.
I think they
What
would
is-
have been
what
mad at
is her
that
thing?
too.
What is
They would have
Kamala's
been like,
thing?
"That's 2016. You need
Right.
to. What are you racist? Are you
Well, no.
racist?
What is Kamala's thing? Does she have a thing? I genuinely don't
We
know. Like,
won't
what is?
go back."
Oh, that's her actual thing. That was a thing long before her, though. She didn't bother getting
Yep.
her own thing.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
And it's like, to
all right.
me, that means we won't go back to you. You know what I mean? Like, what's that saying?
It says first person shot of being swarmed by Karens is terrifying.
Dude,
A
all
first
I
person
know
shot.
is I
thing,
got
yeah.
out. I got hit with a sign. I got these freaking Karens with their fingers in my face. And you know, the awful thing was me and my friend I was with, we were dancing and having fun for easily over 3 hours with these people. Easily. And my friend is 7'7", and they were asking her to take photos for them and stuff. So she's like this. She's taking photos for everyone. They're like, "Thank you. Oh, we're so glad you're
She's
here."
literally 7'7".
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Next to me, you know my ass
next
is
to me.
5'2". You
Next
know
to
how
me.
short I
Okay.
am.
oh, okay.
I was like,
Well, I'm glad you had a fun experience at least.
we did. I mean, it could have been so much worse. I mean, after we got kicked out, I don't know if it happened the other times. I haven't watched the video yet, but they started kick her out, kick them out, and I was like,
they found out you weren't alone, and they had to switch. up.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's so sad. I mean, I just always have these moments when I see things like that where I think it's just so sad. And I don't blame like all individual people. Like I think it's a systemic rot, you know?
It is.
And I think that I think it really can be traced to a lot. I mean, first of all, it's like we're faced with these horrific binary choices that are
Yeah.
just so gross to put on anybody. I mean, it's like you're basically being like, do you want to swallow pig shit or pig vomit? You got to swallow one. Fuck you. You have to pick. I mean, it's terrible.
Mhm.
And you know, we don't here in the US talking politics and talking issues is kind of taboo. It's something that we just don't do. So every 4 years, we basically have like the mental purge and
Right.
we just fucking attack each other with the same bullshit. Like it's the same tired fucking talking points. It is literally, I've been paying attention. You know, I didn't start paying attention, like really paying attention until like, you know, freshman year of college or whatever. So for about 20 years now, you know, I've been really in tune. And it's the same fucking thing every time. Like it's just the same talking points. The candidates have gotten slightly worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's like, God, I mean, when you kind of look at it big picture, it's you just realize how fucking warped it is. And then I mean, I was just in London last month, and whenever I go abroad, I just I feel a little less alone because the rest of the world realize how fucking batshit we are.
Yeah.
Like they get it. And even like yeah, anyway. All right. But yeah, that's
No, absolutely. Like I was back in Italy in June and I kept saying the same thing. Like
it's nuts.
it's like they're more I hate the labels and stuff, but they're more left because they understand, social justice. They understand inequity. They're over here we're so privileged. And the rally, they sound so much like Trumpers because they're like USA, USA,
Yeah.
US. And I'm like, okay, I've only ever heard that twice. Trump and Jerry Springer. So I don't know who the fuck you're with, but you don't sound like you're for Kamala at
Well,
all.
I think we're an incredibly nationalistic country.
Mm-hmm.
Like you really realize that just when you take a step back and you listen to people. I mean, there's even people who fancy themselves on the left who I would argue are like very nationalistic in the way they talk about things and the way they talk about this country. And it's pretty warped to see. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned Italy, which I of course could babble about all freaking day because I got family over there and stuff. And it's like the thing about Italy is there are people who are descendants of partisans in Italy. Like a lot of the Italian left, their fucking relatives literally fought Nazis, not just in the World War II sense. They fought Nazis in their home. Like they fucking fought Mussolini's people, like Mussolini's army. Like they fought Nazis in their fucking neighborhoods. Like they were leftists who, and they don't teach you about that in the history books. They teach you that Mussolini was on the side of Hitler, which is 100% true, obviously, but they don't teach you about the part. And yeah, there were a ton of Italian partisans literally fucking fighting in their neighborhoods. They also don't teach you the part that when it was a fair fight, those partisans fucking won all the time. These are just regular working people who fought Nazis, and when the fight was fair, they freaking won. So they decided to make the fight not fair. So a lot of them didn't live to tell their story. But I mean, you talk to some people on the Italian left, that was their fucking dad and their grandparent.
Yep.
They were fucking partisans. So they are freaking lefties. They do not tolerate fascism. They do not fucking sugarcoat fascism, and they support, I mean, they have a more parliamentary style of politics over there. I mean, pretty much every other pseudo-democratic experiment does. So their extremes are not quite as bad. I mean, Georgia Maloney is literally a fascist. She is terrible. But even
I was there 2 days after she got elected.
Yeah, I was there when she won, actually. I was there on election day.
We missed each other by like 2 days.
Yeah, I was randomly there on election day. It wasn't planned that way. That was just when my cousin decided he was getting married. But like, yeah, I mean, but even and she's terrible. I'm not in any way sugarcoating anything about her. She is a fascist. She is terrible. And it's repulsive that she is their prime minister.
But she did she did an arms embargo.
Right. I was going to say, like, even she looks at our foreign policy and goes, this is too far. And she can only do so much there because she has like 3 opposition parties that are like right behind her that aren't in simpatico with her. So she has to go like 3 parties over before she has basically any allies. She has to go past Partito Democratico. She has to go past Movimento Cinque Stelle. She has to go past what's the other? There's one other one. It doesn't fucking matter. And then of course, like another flank of all that is Verdi Sinistra, the actual United Italian Left. That was like, I think the socialists and the communists and the Greens sort of like put together a flank. Anyway, and they actually have some seats. Like they have some, like imagine if 3 Green Party members sat in the Congress. It would fucking change our lives. Like, because they would have some leverage, you know?
Mm-hmm. So right now, you know, we hear the Dems every fucking year. This is the most important election of our lifetime. It's the most important election of our lifetime, everyone. And we hear it every fucking time. But I would say in my lifetime, this is the most important election of our lifetime. And I think that for several reasons, and mostly because of Palestine, because we have someone in Jill Stein, who is unabashedly the best a person who has been speaking out, getting arrested, like you name it, for Palestine, and not just the past year. And don't get me started on Butch, because he's just a king. I love him. And, you know, so we have them. And with this momentum we have gained over this past, you know, since Jill announced, we have that actual chance to get that 5%. And for people who are watching who may not know what we're talking about, if I know a lot of people are very, you know, dismayed by the duopoly or one party, considering how you look at it, and we all should be. But this is a very interesting situation, because if the Greens get at least 5% of the vote, which, let's be honest, that is attainable, 5% of the vote, we then have the ability to become an official third party, which means you get federal financing, you are on the debate stage, you don't have all these, you know, to jump through all these hoops to get on ballots in certain states, things like that. Like, it would literally change American politics forever.
Yeah. And the thing is it's not an unattainable feat. And when people, because look, I live in California. I became a registered Green recently. And, you know, there's a number of reasons why I decided to do that. I wrote a piece about it that actually the Green Party shared. And, you know, to me, it's kind of like, look, electorally, and I'm not a big electoral politics guy. Like, I don't tell people how to vote. That's not my place. That I am angry at the system. And that's where my energy is directed. I'm more of a direct action policy, mutual aid guy. But electorally, you know, I want to see the rigged game change. And it's not an impossibility to change it. It's not going to be easy, but it's not an impossibility. And the Green Party, you know, with all their faults, and there are plenty, there's plenty of things about the Green Party that tick me off, but the Green Party really does have the right program to bring about that future. They are actively trying to get money out of politics. And they are the reason that ranked choice voting is now in the common, basically in the common zeitgeist. A lot of that has been efforts from the Green Party. And, you know, I will say this too, and this is sort of like, and I'm including myself in this, you know, reflection or whatever. I think the Green Party, when it comes to messaging, really needs to do better at, you know, not kind of taking the credit that they should in the way that they should. I might have not put it great there, but and again, I include myself in this. Like, I'm not wagging my finger at anybody. Like, this is a collective we whatever. But a lot of the things that are in our vernacular, the Green Party has a lot of credit to take that sort of falls by the wayside. I mean, the Green Party was the first national party to embrace universal health care in America, in the United States. And the reason for that is because, I mean, tying it back to what we just talked about, the Green Party is international. So, they saw what other Green parties were doing. They brought it back here. So the Green New Deal is in the vernacular because of the Green Party. Bernie didn't come up with that himself.
Of
It
course.
it came from the Green Party and eventually got to the Green Party USA. And you know why it probably got to Bernie the quickest? Because his brother is a freaking Green in the UK.
Yeah.
And, ranked choice voting, the Greens. Single payer healthcare, the Greens. And what was the other big one that was kind of the Greens that they never really that they don't take enough, and getting money out of politics. I mean, the Greens are the only party that's actively going after that. And they're also, and again, plenty of faults. I'm not saying the Green Party is a perfect entity, but they're the only non-corporate party in the United States that has any electoral power whatsoever. The only one. I mean, people love to say, oh, the Green Parties only have blah, blah, blah. That's nothing. And it's like, yeah, but it's more than any other non-corporate party.
Right.
They are, it goes, there are over 400 political parties in the United States. 400 registered political parties. Only 4 of them have any electoral power whatsoever. Too many P's in this shit I'm saying here. And out of those 4, only one of them is a non-corporate anti-capitalist party. It's the Green
I'm
Party.
guessing Libertarian is the other.
Libertarians are the other one, and they have more elected seats than the Green, but they are a corporate party.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of corporate backing for the Libertarians. They are not like a true grassroots party. The Green Party is the only one. So, yeah, I mean, it would really, it's not an impossibility to kind of change, at least alter the rules enough that they could win something at the federal level. And if they did, that'd be a huge game changer. I mean, the whole goal of the squad was that we would have a block in Congress that would stand for our interests. And guess what happened? Well, they didn't vote as a block. And that was the big disappointment. Well, if you had like an actual alternative party, they wouldn't be faced with the choice squad members were given, which is basically play it the company way, or we're going to get rid of you as quickly as we can. If somebody was in the Green Party, they're going to be like, well, they're always going to try to get rid of me every freaking election anyway. So I might as well report to the constituents who elected me. And guess what that would be? It'd be the freaking Green Party who would say, you guys better vote as a freaking block, and it better be for our interests. And if you stall every defense bill ever in the history of now until forever, they're going to have to bend, because they can't just have a freaking clogged pipe for a government. They're going to have to bend to get your votes. That's how fucking politics works. So,
and anyway. I think now more than any, like this present time, there is literally no better, stronger, more powerful way to say free Palestine than to not consent. To not say, you know what, I've been in those streets for 13 months. I have fought you. I have called you, Holocaust terrorists. I've called you, Genocide Joe, and I've called you all these things. And, I've marched and I've done this and I've done that. But guess what? I'm still going to give you my vote because Trump. That is doing nothing but licking the boots of someone that you have said you've been fighting against. So they know if Jill gets at least 5%, they will know that reason. And that reason alone is why. It was because of Palestine. If they only fucking listened to us and did an arms embargo. Because let's be real, Michigan's going to jail. It's going to jail. And
Jill Stein?
Yeah.
You think Jill Stein is going to win Michigan?
Absolutely.
The state?
Yeah, you don't think so?
No, you think Jill Stein is literally going to win Michigan? Like, it's not going to be Trump. It's not going to be Harris. It's going to be Jill.
I don't know, because all I know is the polls and stuff they're saying is Jill's at 74%.
I mean, I that'd be incredible, but I mean, no, I hate to be a Debbie Downer.
Michigan's
only. I think there's no chance that happens.
Well, Michigan's the number one Arab and Muslim constituency in the entire United States.
Right.
So when
but
they've
still,
been
I
told,
mean, the numbers you're talking, I mean, yeah,
no, I mean,
to
yeah, I
carry
guess it
the
wouldn't be
entire
feasible.
state.
Yeah, that wouldn't be feasible. I guess I mean more so like counties or, certain areas that are very heavily populated as far as Muslim and Arabs go. I think,
Maybe. I mean, I guess that's not impossible, but yeah, I mean, I just hope for the 5%. I mean, I think that's a more attainable goal. I do not think Jill Stein is going to win any state.
I
I
mean,
just think there's too many
yeah,
things in place. Let me put it this way. I think that if that were to happen, they would they would do something to try to take it away. I think
oh yeah, absolutely.
on the less than 1% chance of that happening, I think they would try to be like Russia did it or something. They would do
Oh, they're
something
already saying
to
that.
try to say, well, they're already, yeah, we're already seeing the same playbook, but no,
That's
I
what
mean,
that's the word I was thinking of, districts. That's the word I was thinking of. I
oh,
had a
she might win
brain
a
fart.
district. That's not impossible.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of, district. Yeah,
Yeah, she might win it. I mean, I would have to see the makeups of the. I mean, but yeah, that's not an impossibility. I mean,
yeah.
what bothers me, I mean, the whole duopoly stigma is just so thick. And I get it. I mean, it's a horrible situation. It's a terrible, terrible system that you put people. And I live in California, where I'm lucky in the sense that it's just easy to join a third party. And what I mean by that, um, is that a lot of states, sometimes when you don't join one of the two major parties, they really cripple your ability to vote. Like, they basically
Like
exclude you from
Pennsylvania.
almost yeah, I should know that, because I used to live in Pennsylvania, but it's been so
Mhm.
long, I don't freaking know anymore. But it's like, I mean, dude, I know someone, they registered third party in, I wanna say it was North Carolina. They got their ballot in the mail, and the only thing they got to vote on was, like, what day garbage gets picked up. I mean, that's so effed up, and that's by design, and so even in local elections, which is where your vote matters the most, they freaking cripple you if you don't want to be part of the
Yep.
Republicans or Democrats. I think that shouldn't be legal. I think it's fucking evil. And so that's why I don't begrudge people who are like, well, I have to, otherwise I won't get any say on who's my city council. I mean, that's so effed up. Um, but in California, we don't have that. Like, our local elections are freaking nonpartisan. So there is no party affiliate. I mean, you kind of know where people land. But our local elections are technically not party affiliated. So the only thing I quote miss out on by registering as a green is I don't get to vote in the Democratic primary, which usually it's a corporate Democrat or a corporate Democrat, and I would just leave it blank anyway. Or if I wanted to join like one of the local kind of progressive slates, I can't do that. But I would never do that anyway, because I do not belong anywhere near electoral politics. I'm a freaking outsider. And B, the California Democratic Party is just such a hot mess that I'm like, no thanks. So my point is, I don't understand. I wish more people in my situation who just have a much easier path would take it, to just try to build some power to hopefully make that path easier for the rest of the country, because
Like,
it's
I'm
like,
in Pennsylvania. Help me out.
no, I
Help me
feel
out.
yeah. I mean, it's like, and that's why like I'm really cautious about like wagging my finger at anybody, because like, if someone has to register Democrat because otherwise they don't get to have a say on who's on their city council, I can't really, I don't
Oh,
blame
yeah.
them. Like, that fucking sucks. So I wanna try to work towards a future where that's not the case.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we have the electoral college. We have, speaking of
Yeah.
undemocratic, I know like democracy is on the line and stuff, but like trying to get other candidates off of ballots. How about selecting someone to be the nominee without ever having a single vote? These things are not democracy, but we're being told democracy is on the line.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't put too much thought into that particular thing because, like, it was like, again, just putting aside the fact that I, do not appreciate the politics of Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or the Democratic establishment. It's like he clearly was not well.
But then they
So
should
it's
have
like
done a special election.
they should have done a mini special election, but I think the way
Exactly.
the rules work, people wouldn't have had a say though. I think it just would have been the super delegates installing someone anyway. I mean, it's still fucked up.
Yeah, so
But
either way, it's not democratic.
yeah, so like either way, it's like pretty F, but it's like one of those things like they're able to just have like I mean, I get that you have to have something in place in case of a situation like that. It would be a lot better if you were just like, we're going to do a 2-week thing and people can make their case for like a week and then everyone gets to vote. But like to my understanding, that was never their rules because they never miss out on an opportunity to not give people a say. But yeah.
Well, did you see that someone who works in the administration came out and said that Biden said, "Are you sure she's the right one to go with?"
I didn't hear about that. It'll be very interesting because I'll tell you, and I'm just talking like objective political optics. His whole like Trump supporters are trash comment was not wise. That was not a wise move politically, and it will be
Basket of
just
deplorables. Didn't work
yeah.
out well.
Did work out well. And it's another example, Mitt Romney's 47% comment. Whenever politicians make a comment like that, it is a kiss of death. It doesn't matter who you're talking about, unless you're talking about like literal Nazis or something. But if you're going to talk about millions of people who voted for a particular candidate, and you're going to, that's incredibly stupid. And I mean, just objectively here, like there is no institution better at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory than the Democratic establishment. And you see them doing everything in their power to do it again. Like it's unbelievable. And it would be so amazing. Not amazing, but it would just be so like, wow, what the fuck? If Joe Biden, a guy who has fallen up his entire freaking career, his legacy will be a genocide in denying us a transformational presidency that we would have had with Bernie Sanders. And his last move, could be costing Kamala the election. I mean, it's amazing. And then they're going to blame leftists when it happens.
Well, my fear is
they've done everything in their power to lose.
I'm worried they're going to blame Muslims and Arabs. That's my fear because such a huge number of them are
Democrats
going
won't do that. Republicans would do that. Democrats won't do that. They pick their different scapegoats. See, Democrats, their scapegoats are lefties. Their scapegoats are Russia.
I'm talking about people, though. I'm not talking about like politicians and stuff, like shitlib people. I could absolutely see them blaming.
Maybe. I think they follow the party line, though. I think they'll blame lefties. They'll
And
blame racism, sexism, because if you didn't support Kamala, you're a racist and a sexist. Couldn't possibly be for any other reason. They'll blame Russia. They'll blame, yeah. I mean, they won't, yeah. I mean, we'll see. Who knows? I mean, sometimes you think that's not the case, and then you hear some like, man, there's been some vile stuff said.
Well, right after they kicked me out of the rally and like hit me with that sign and stuck their fingers in my face and stuff today, right before it, I'm telling you, like right before it, about 2 minutes before it, Kamala says, "We are so sick of the division. We need unity.
Yeah,
we need to represent people whether they voted for us or not." And everyone's, yeah. Same people sticking their finger in my face and hitting me with a damn sign.
It's
like,
it really, I mean, yeah, it just, this has been, and unfortunately I have to go soon, Joy, because I have a set
I
tonight,
just noticed the time.
But I gotta say, and all the time I've been paying attention to politics, this has been by far the worst freaking election season I've ever been through. And and I feel the same way I felt in 2020. You know, I really want to see Donald Trump lose, and I will be really, really bummed to see Kamala win. That's how I felt in 2020. I was like, man, I'm thrilled to see Trump lose, but I am really sad as hell to see Joe Biden win. And some
Yeah.
people say that's hypocritical. No, I think that's a human
No.
response to the fucking system that we're in. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't an objective prediction. I do think Trump is going to win.
I do as
Um,
well.
I think it's going to be very close, and I think it could change any day because it's going. I mean, it's like it's like a mile a second with this fucking thing. So I think there could be something nuts that
Mm.
happens tomorrow that changes the momentum completely before next week. But I think right now, I think Trump's going to. I think it's going to be close, but I think Trump's going
Yeah.
to win. And I mean, you know, again, Trump is terrible. I mean, we haven't talked about that much because you were at the Kamala thing today, but you know, Trump is he has surrounded himself with a group that is even worse than the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, the footage, his Madison Square Garden thing was fucking chilling. I mean, that was just fucking nuts. And I mean, yeah, like he's terrible. And I think he will be just as bad on foreign policy. I don't think he'll be any better. I mean,
Oh,
these
he
people,
will. He will. Yeah.
he'll,
But I
he'll
mean,
be as
he
bad
hasn't
or
been
better.
involved for the past 13 months.
Right,
So
he
it's
hasn't
like,
been involved.
right,
You can't
right.
pin it on him. But I think he'll be just as bad, if not because I mean, he was criticizing Biden for not being hawkish enough when it came to Israel Palestine. He
Yeah.
wanted Israel to finish the job. I mean, what do you think that means? I mean, he's freaking and he's surrounding himself with the same freaking warmongers.
Yes.
So I mean, and I mean, that's why we're fighting for a tomorrow where people will have a viable peace option on the ballot. You know, because it's like, you know, you're given this binary choice where it's war or war, war with more polite rhetoric, sort of. Like,
Yeah.
what the
War
fuck kind of
or
choice is that?
War Queen.
Yeah, like, it's just so. Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know. I feel bad. Like it's just. I'm just sort of in. I don't know. I mean, I get my hope from the stuff that's been happening in labor and the stuff that's been happening with like mutual aid efforts that you see all over the country. And the fact that like people are really taking true alternative structures seriously. Um, and like that kind of gives me hope. Like that's where my hope is at. And you know, if we can kind of harness that energy, we might be able to like make a difference. But I feel like the left, and I include myself in this. I feel like the left is just not great at building power. Like we're
No.
just not, because like we're stifled every step of the way, and it's been that way for like 50 years. More than that, really. More like, you know, like going on 70 years, maybe more. But like, so we're not good. We're just not super great at building power. But I think Gen Z kind of cuts through the fat a little bit, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Like I'm excited for them to take more and more reins.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that might be a little bit of a reflection of my bubble here in California, but I feel like it's happening everywhere. I feel like it's happening because it's like, I mean, hey, an abolitionist who supports Black Lives Matter got on the city council in Iowa. You know, 27 years old.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
there's little diamonds in the rough out there that kind of keep me going. But man, and I think part of it is like we just didn't have a Bernie Sanders this time around. We didn't have anything resembling a Bernie Sanders this time around. And you know, even though it was, you know, taken from us twice, there was still a little bit of freaking hope, you know, and
Yeah.
we just didn't have anything like that this time around. And I think, I don't know if we'll get another shot like that in either of our lifetimes, to tell you the truth. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know if we will. I feel like that's a
Yeah.
shitty way to end it, but
Well, you know what, Claire Daly, come move to the U.S. We'll put you up. You can run here. We'd love it.
I think Robert Smith should be president. Although
Oh my
I feel
God,
bad
yeah.
giving him such a shitty. Well, he single-handedly he did more to rein in Ticketmaster than our entire antitrust committee did.
That's very
So
true.
I mean, but and I mean that I'm directing that at the Amy Klobuchars of the world, not the Lena Khans. I like Lena Khan. I think she's a badass. I think she's by far like one of the few diamonds in the rough that was the Biden administration. She's holding down the fort at the FTC. I appreciate it. But yeah, can I plug a few things before I go?
I was just gonna say you better give people your stuff.
Well, for anyone that doesn't know, I do have a new podcast now. It's a little different than what I used to do. It's called 1000 with Ron Placone, where I interview 1,000 people that have piqued my interest in some way. At once, like 1,000 different people. No, I'm gonna do it every week for it's gonna take me about 20 years. And then once I'm done with it, I think I'm done. Like that's it. Like I'm done. That'll probably be my last podcast that I ever produce because it's gonna take me about 20 years. Yeah, I've had some cool guests. Dr. Jill Stein's been on the show. Jello Biafra has been on the show. Russ Rankin of Good Riddance has been on the show. Martin Barr from Jethro Tull has been on the show. Basically, if you're a lefty punk rocker into music, into horror film, into Ren Fair life, that's the kind of stuff I talk about. Or if you're into some of those things, check out the podcast. You might get into more. Yeah, it's a really fun show. Next week is probably, well, I shouldn't announce future episodes, but I will say this. I interviewed I have an episode coming out soon that I'm pretty stoked about. We talked about Italian politics a little bit. I'm interviewing an episode's going to come out with an Italian socialist named Silverio who plays in an Italian socialist punk band called Lupin. And he is actually he's part of what I was referring to. I think it was his dad actually was a freaking partisan, and he talks about it. So it's a pretty there's some interesting interviews. I think you guys will dig it if you give it a shot. And then if anyone is in Los Angeles on December 15th, I have a show at Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank where you were there, where we're going to be doing stand-up, and then we're going to be premiering part 1 of a play that I'm producing. I'm producing a play called Termination Fee that I'll just put it this way. It is a blistering commentary on the American healthcare system. And we're going to be premiering part 1 of that on December 15th. So you can come out and see part 1 of the play before we take it to Edinburgh in 2025. And then my movie Left at Wall is going to be out soon for people to see. I don't have anything more to announce yet, but we just wrapped up our screenings run this year. We wrapped it up in London last month. So the movie will be out for everyone to see very, very soon. And I'm sure I'll be nagging you to come back on to tell everybody about the movie.
Well, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so much, and I think it's awesome.
You're kind.
We've been comrades for quite some time. So I'm just proud of everything you're doing.
Back at you. Thanks for getting into the good trouble.
Yes. You guys, thanks so much for watching. Please smash the like and subscribe. Tomorrow night, I have independent scientist Scott Smith coming back. He is going to give us some breaking news from East Palestine, Ohio. Some shit is going on. I'm just telling you, you don't want to miss it. Look, you don't want to miss it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks again, Ron.
Peace, y'all.
Much love, everyone. And thanks, Matt.